I'm laughing, but it's a laugh of impatience. Show the movie. Oh!
All right, man. First of all, I just want to say, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas Eve to everybody out there right now. Tomorrow's Christmas, and I hope everybody has a wonderful, and a safe one with all their family, friends, wherever they're going to be at. I know there are going to be some people who are going to be working that day, and some people who are going to be off. But it's like if you ever get the chance, spend Christmas time with all loved ones, and have a very, very fun time right there. Now, once again, sorry I'm late because I had a little technical difficulties right here with all this nonsense going on right here, trying to restart all this. But I'm here finally. And today we're going to be doing a review of a movie, man, I haven't seen in such a long time, man. Like this, this was a wild franchise back in the '80s. Hey, Robert, how you doing? Yeah, I said Merry Christmas to you too. Oh yeah. Oh, you missed it when when I showed it on the last stream, like when I basically came down, I was doing like a lot of a lot of stuff with it. So yeah, it's like this is a mask I got. I found it on Amazon. I saw it was. I was just like, oh man, I can't resist. I gotta get this right here, and it is perfect, especially with this right because I can just put like, whatever I can on top of it. Oh yeah, it's a very lovely mask. I love it right there. Oh man. So yeah, it's like so this stream right here will basically be, and I don't know if y'all can hear me better, like because I know I probably sound like a little muffled because because it's over my face right here. So if my words sound a little muffled, like say, everybody basically let me know. But basically, like on this stream right here, I'm basically gonna be reviewing like the Silent Night, Deadly Night, franchise because that was a movie I watched back in the day, and I think it came out with like what five of them. Well, honestly, when you really look at the whole entire thing, it's like the first two are really of the whole entire thing because three, four, and five, I have no idea what the hell that was right there. But we're gonna basically, go through the whole thing right here. All right, first off, all right, let me bring this up right here. Yeah, like I said, I'm not very professional with this right here, so bear with me. Hmm. Okay. All right, here we go. First off, like I said, like starting off with the first one right here, like oh man, the first movie, like I said, this also came out during like the mid '80s, so everything was basically, like the horror genre, the horror slasher era, the genre and things like that. So we look at it right now, and it looks really cheesy. But back in the day when I first watched this, man, this movie scared the horrified devil living shit out of me and things like that because Santa was one of those wonderful things right there, and then seeing like a murderous, a murderous Santa Claus right there was kind of wild. But this is doing the slasher era right there, so we already know how this was going right there. Yeah. So basically, like the first Silent Night, Deadly Night is basically right here. Is like it was like about a boy named Billy. Him and his family. Like they went to see their grandpa who was basically like in a home, and it was a wild beginning right there because the grandpa was was usually like unresponsible. Like when everybody leaves, he just basically turns the bill and starts talking about a lot of scary stuff about Santa, talking about like Santa punishes naughty kids and all that yada yada things like that. So like so the movie is basically revolved around him and what he basically thinks about Christmas and all that right there, and then hearing like all this horrible stuff. So okay, so one night when after they're coming back home, him and his family, they actually they see like this person in a Santa Claus suit, on the road right there. So they were going to try to help him at first, but the guy then ends up pulling out a gun and like shooting at the family right there, which basically he ends up like shooting the dad. So, Billy, like say he gets out, he runs into the woods and hides basically right there, like as you see right there, the guy ends up shooting the dad in the head right there, and then starts attacking the mom, basically, almost raping her. But, but he ends up slicing the throat. So meanwhile, Billy's in the woods, hiding after he done killed after this Santa Claus and basically, killed his mom and dad. And his like little brother is basically, crying in the front seat. So they basically, I'm saying, Santa Claus escaped, they basically got found and they got took to an orphanage where he thought this stuff was bad right now. That's where it really, really, really freaking got bad, man. That orphanage, man, I'm like, Jesus Christ, especially like the woman who played Mother Superior. I think I got on her right now. Yeah, like at this time right here, Billy's growing up like a little bit, but he's still traumatized from that event. And it's basically showing throughout everything that he's doing at basically orphanage. Like this is the part right here where they were told to draw, and he drew a really, really like bad picture and all that right there. And it's like everybody knows like how he's traumatized when it basically comes to Christmas and things like that. It's like the one female nun, like she understands, like like he's troubled and things like that. But of course, it's the Mother Superior, like that'll windbag, like, oh Jesus Christ, I could not stand that woman in this goddamn movie. She was so goddamn evil, and to be a nun, that out of all things, that's this old motherfucker right there, like, Jesus Christ. She should have been a motherfucking evil person of this whole entire movie. The way she was basically acting, of course, she basically, gets on the Billy and things like that, tell him that he's to go up to his room, he can't play. But somehow, the other there she is, like, the other sister right here, she sympathized for Billy. And she basically, tells him to come out and play with the other kids right there, even though Mother Superior basically told him that you're supposed to stay in this room. So as he's getting ready to go to play with the other kids, he all of a sudden just basically starts hearing noise. So he goes to the basically door right there, looks in the peephole, and he basically see like these two people, basically, they fucking. And so as they sell out fucking and things like that, it almost triggers a flashback. And by that time, Mother Superior basically, basically catches them and busts into the room where the people are having sex. So it's like, she just basically goes up in there, closes the door, like grabs a belt and starts whooping their motherfucking ass. it's a trip, man. Like, if you go back and watch it, and basically still whooping the people's ass. Everything that they're doing. So of course, after she's done that, she comes out there and finds him and asks him like, did he see anything? Come about, whatever those people doing was wrong, and that all bad people should be punished. And for some reason, she, like I said, this is the evil act. This bitch is just downright evil. Just, oh God, man. So, like I say, so after she basically like punishes folks right there, then she just basically punishes him, so because talking about he disobeyed by coming out of his room, even though it was the other nun that basically told him that he could come out and play. So basically punish him for that, and then like I said, this is around Christmas time, knowing how he feels about Christmas and Santa Claus and things. Yeah, she tries to force this kid to, basically participate, like sitting on Santa's lap, even though like he don't want to because he's traumatized. So he basically like gets away from hits the Santa and then goes hides in the corner because he knew he did something bad. And it's like every time, like this lady was just so this Mother Superior, she was just so evil to Billy and things like that. It's like, like no wonder the boy grew up so fucked up and things like that. Because every time he basically did something, she was the main person that was like, just basically, just punish him and shit like that, just for no goddamn reason. Knowing the boy had a jacked up childhood, she was just making it just even worse. So, yeah, that's how it basically ends right there. So then it's like, time passes, but old to live work, so they getting him a job at a toy shop where everything starts looking up for him. Like he's working at the toy shop, he's doing good and all that right there. Like I'm basically getting around people. Yes, until around Christmas time. Christmas starts all rolling around, and like I said, in the toy shop is getting into like the Christmas spirit and all that right there. And some of the old flashbacks start basically coming back, especially at the point right there where it's like they couldn't the usual Santa Claus and basically come around. So now they ended up making Billy like the Santa Claus, and it's like yeah, he went with the flow at first, even though he really didn't like it. It was kind of like like triggering at first, but he basically got to it, like sitting with the kids, especially like it's about that one scene where the little girl just basically sitting out there, like fidgeting, like she's scared to be around him. He just like, like come on, I don't reward naughty kids, I punish them severely, scared ass. It was the parents think he's actually doing a good job right there, but he's actually scaring the ever loving fuck out of these kids. So then he just said it jumps to a scene where basically like everything is all over. So once they lock up, they start having like a little Christmas party for themselves, and everybody's basically drinking. And oh yeah, around this part right here, it's like in all this time where Billy was working with the toy shop, he actually started developing a crush on this girl right here. But she kind of had a thing for this other dude, right here where she's kissing, and so like they basically go sneak off, like and he convinces her to go to the employee room where this is where things start basically twisting out. God damn it. Oh fuck, hold on. Let's see where I'm yeah, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that butt right there. Oh my Jesus Christ, I hate those things. Shit. Okay. Okay, now that I got rid of them. Okay, so all right, so back to the story. So he basically yeah, they just sneak off to the room or or like he's trying to get up and up to a girl, and she's basically playing coochie keep away to the point where it's like he got all frustrated, and he just basically like he just been trying to take it. So by that time like Bill was back there seeing what was basically going on. They started triggering those childhood flashbacks of like when that Santa Claus killed his mom and all that right there. So Billy snaps, and basically gets this guy right here where string him up and grabs like the little Christmas light and there's just strangle this motherfucker by the neck. So a girl see what she just did right there. So yeah, basically, starts calling him crazy and hitting on him and all that right there. And even though he had a crush on her, it's just the fact that that she just basically attacking him and doing all that. He just like punished naughty. So he ends up killing her, grabbing a box cutter and gutting her. I'm saying gutting her from the stomach on up to on up to her motherfucking chest right there. And one by one, he just starts killing all the folks off. Then like kills the manager, or I'm saying smacks him upside the head with the knife. And then the other lady who almost got away, but unfortunately he got her with an arrow. So this just basically begins like the one of many murders that just basically starts going on and all that stuff. But it's like his next kill basically comes right here to like to our girl right here, old Linnea. Like I said, this is one of the first movies I basically seen right here before she started, becoming popular in like all the movies like Savage Streets and all that right there. But yeah, this was Linnea right here. Now unfortunately, I can't show her skill because her kills and things like that, because most of the scenes that she was basically in were basically her nude. She was walking around topless. So he ends up basically basically attacking him, like getting her, impaling her on a mounted bed, and the guy he comes basically checking out, to see what happened, and they get into a scuffle where Billy basically gets the best of him and throws him out the second story window where he basically dies. So it's like after this part right here, everybody knows like there's a killer Santa Claus out on the loose, and they're basically looking for him. Basically, anybody they basically see that just go around trying to because him, but they always killed this guy right here, who's a father who was basically trying to like surprise his daughter by being Santa Claus, and he damn near got killed. Meanwhile, Billy, after all these flashbacks done triggered, he's basically on his ultimate mission right now, which is to go and which is basically to go and go back and to the orphanage right there, where he wants to take care of the no one main person. That's Mother Superior, the one that basically started this whole entire thing, from the get-go. So that's what he's basically doing. But along the way that he's doing right there, like he recently, these kids right here who basically bully and steal these other folks slave slave rides right there. And so they're basically, like playing those things right there. He just jumps out of he just jumps out of the wood on one of them, talking about naughty, and the guy's like, just slices his head off. Like that was like the last kill he basically did before he finally made it to the orphanage thing. So the police are basically still looking for like old boy, because he's in like in the Santa Claus outfit. Excuse me right there. So this police right here is basically they made it to the orphanage where like one of the guys well, he sees this guy in the Santa suit basically coming up toward the kids, and like especially like his younger brother Ricky is basically coming towards him. And the policeman gets out of the car and he's basically shouting talking about, like, no, stop or I'm gonna shoot. But the guy never listens. It keeps basically coming towards Ricky. Until the police basically puts like 3 of them in his back right there. And it turns out the guy that he basically shot wasn't Billy, but instead like it was like the janitor, and they had basically had him being like that carrying Santa that year right there. But the problem was he was deaf. He couldn't hear anything. So he couldn't hear the police when he was making the commands for him to stop right there. So he just basically ended up, murdering this guy for no damn reason. So, Mother Superior basically scolds him, but he's saying, I'm sorry, but we do have a killer on the loose dressed up like Santa Claus. And he basically wants to check around the whole entire thing. Once he checked around the yard, seeing that nobody wasn't around, and as soon as he comes out of the basement right there, and that's when Billy catches his motherfucking ass in the goddamn chest. And for some reason, I didn't feel sorry for him. I'm just like, you know what? That's satisfying. I'm glad his motherfucking ass Billy got his motherfucking ass right there. Because I'm saying, shot the other Santa Claus dude for no goddamn reason. You know what I'm saying? It was just trips. And I love that part, right? I love that part right there where it's like, and the blood's just dripping off the axe before he chops off the snowman's head. Oh, I always love that right there. So they don't get it's basically like at the part right now where he done made it to the orphanage, and the Mother Spirit, she just sitting around like all nervous and things like that, because 9 out of 10 she knows the reason why he's coming to the orphanage, because he wants to kill her motherfucking ass for all the times that that she's tortured the ever-loving shit out of him and things like that. So finally, like I say, he makes it there as they basically like talking to the kids, and one of the kids, practically let him in because they just see a guy in a Santa suit, because like kids, they innocent, they just see Santa Claus, and then Santa Claus is basically a wonderful thing. They don't know that this is Billy right here, and he's basically come on a purpose to like kill Mother Superior. So he basically lets him in, even though the nun is basically talking about, no, don't let him in on it right there. And you see the other girl basically come. Oh, this little girl basically tripped me out, man, how she would just, but Mother Superior, it's Santa Claus. The way she said the whole entire thing, man, was just basically a trip. So she basically calls the kids back and talking about that's no Santa Claus, and and Billy just right there talking about naughty, and just takes the axe right there. And I mean, he's about to go full slap down on her before the police basically arrive, like I'm saying, shoots him in the back right there. And as the other sisters basically, like basically looking at him, he turns and looks at the kids and talking about you don't have to worry about it anymore, like Santa's gone. And therefore he ends up dying. And as he's, as he's laying dead right there, then all of a sudden the camera basically pans up to his brother, like I'm saying, to his brother, who basically looks at not the mother superior and just goes naughty. So it's upset. This was like a really good movie, even though it was cheesy for like the way it was back in its time right there. But the thing was, like when it hit movies, like I'm saying, people got so mad, angry, and frustrated about this that they protested, and they got this movie taken out. I think it hit. I'm saying it was in the movies for about a week before people protested the whole entire thing. Like ban this movie, get this movie out thing right here, and of course, it caused a huge controversy of the whole entire thing. Like, so many people basically spoke out against it, spoke out against the movie. And Cisco Lieber, they do their usual things right there. They critiquing the old asses and shit like that. They gave it a bad review. A lot of people basically talking about this is a horrible movie. This is like that. So basically, what ended up happening is they ended up taking the movie out of the theaters. And so, but it hit films and it sold quite good, and it basically made a whole bunch of sequels. And then we basically come down to the next one. Where I'm saying, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, where the story is basically I'm saying it's about his brother. Then his brother is like basically like older. He's in a mental institution, and for like the first, I say 3/4 of the movie, it's basically him recapping the first, like the first Silent Night, Deadly Night, talking about what basically went down right there and about Billy and how this all basically went down. So that's what it was. It was like the first 3/4 of the part 2 movie was basically a recapping of the first movie that basically led up to him and the reason why he's in an insane asylum right there. This part right there after they killed Billy and now in the first Silent Night, Deadly Night, they ended up using a different character, but this is like what they used for Ricky and in the Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. But it was a different character on the very first one. Okay, so it's like after the recap of the first one right there, then it basically turns out what happened to him, so Ricky ended up getting adopted to a family, which he went on to have like a good decent life, like of happiness and all that right there, like away from the orphanage. Until one day, he's out there basically with his adopted mom. They were shopping, and she gets stopped by a friend, and as they're talking, a couple of nuns just basically started coming on Ricky's way. And Ricky starts getting freaked out. And every time he started to talk to his mom was like, boy, let me talk to these folks, right? Until finally, she looked at it and she saw him like he had this freaked out look on his face. And as she looked, she saw like he was looking at like the red sheet that the people had just put over the story of the story entrance. So she knew something basically, was going down right there, like something basically, like it's triggering the boy. So they went back to the orphanage and they tried to get like the story of the whole entire thing of of why he's acting like that. And of course, like this right here, it's basically, she gave them some bullshit runaround story. I'm like, Mother Superior, like advised that the boy is okay, and because they know this boy has a jacked up background story, but they don't want to tell the parents because they're afraid that the parents will mess around and they'll give it up, and they don't want the boy back. But they didn't give up on him. They just wanted to know like what was going on with him, and so they didn't give up on him. They still kept him up, as a family until basically like time went basically by. And the stepdad ends up dying, And that really hit this Billy right here as he grew up a little bit right there. After his stepdad dies, that kind of hits him like a little hard right there. Like 'cause once again, he lost somebody dearly close to him, his family. And then it basically goes off to a scene where he's basically talking about like how he basically like started his killing spree. So he was like, it gets this part right here where he's basically like he basically out in the field where he basically sees like this couple, they're out in the field right there. And of course, old dude, he's trying to get some, and old girl, like I said, she ends up basically playing the coochie game to the fact where old boy basically, ends up trying to take it right there, but she ends up fighting him off to the point where, Ricky's seeing all this stuff right here, and then of course, it triggered those bad memories right there to the fact where he's just like naughty, and it's like so somehow, like I said, Ricky gets up in the Jeep right there, and this idiot dude leaves the keys, in the ignition for some goddamn reason because he's in it. So he ends up running over the guy that basically tried to take advantage of the woman so many times and things like that. Meanwhile, the woman is sitting right here wondering what's going on and why this Jeep is going back and forth until she basically comes over and she sees Ricky getting out of the Jeep. Cause oh damn, I skipped over because he just ran over this dude right there that was basically trying to take advantage of her. But the wild part of this whole entire thing is like after she sees him, and she just basically looks at him, she just says thank you and walks the fuck off. Like, like I ain't gonna tell nothing. I'm actually glad you killed his ass. So that's what basically started his homicidal tendencies right there, Like after he basically killed that dude right there. So basically, time goes by. He's working at he's working at a restaurant. He's taking out garbage when all of a sudden, he witnesses this one guy beating up this other guy right here. This is like basically some kind of bookie. Like I'm saying, this guy owes him money, so he's basically beating him up for it. And so he sees the whole entire thing. And Ricky's got that look of, like, why don't you pick on somebody your own goddamn size and shit like this? So he basically, got this dude, start whooping him, picking up with this Hulk-like strength all over goddamn sudden. The guy hits him like 3 times, and Ricky's just looking at him like, this motherfucker just hit me. So he basically, he basically picks up this goddamn umbrella while holding this guy with one hand and things like, so he holding him up with one hand, stabs him with this umbrella right here, and the umbrella comes open. And now the wildest ironic part about this whole entire scene is that after he kills this dude with the umbrella and then walks off, all of a sudden it starts raining. I couldn't take that done seriously right there after basically did that. I mean, he doesn't sit up right here. Done skewed this guy with an umbrella, and as soon as he leaves, it starts raining. I'm just like, if this is some wild shit right here. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Oh man. So now, let me get back on this part right here. So after he basically kills that guy, like I said, he still was saying, talking to like the guy at the insane asylum, and the guy basically shows up right here, like the picture of this girl, like her name Jennifer, which is basically, his first girlfriend. It was a girl that he basically met after they bumped into each other. Well, her car bumped into his bike, and it was just basically love at first sight. They develop a relationship and things like that, and everything basically starts going good. She takes his virginity. They're just a basically good couple. Until all of a sudden, like I said, he runs into old Chip right here, who basically, starts talking to dog and things like that, and basically starts, triggering old events, basically talking about how he fucked this old girl and all this right there. So that pissed off Ricky to the point where hell shit, Ricky got his motherfucking ass shit. Hooked him up with those cables and charged it all up to the point where it blew his ass out. So Jennifer seeing what he basically did right there, so she flips out and she basically, starts yelling at him to the point where he starts looking at her funny, and that's when she realized, oh shit, this motherfucker's finna kill me. So she tries to run away, but it's too late, He grabs like the antenna off the car, and then he basically strangles her. Strangles her to death. Then Barney Fife right here shows the fuck up, saying his little cheesy ass lines, and gets right dead up on Ricky with the goddamn gun and all that right there, talking about, don't make me shoot you, Shit's all funny, and Ricky just slickly just grabs the gun, pops him in the motherfucking head, and then takes the cop gun where he just basically goes on a shooting spree, just shooting anybody who he basically can. Like, and it's to the scene where the guy basically taking out the garbage, and he's just like, garbage day. always love that part right there, man. So he basically up saying he after he shoots the cop, he shoots another guy, then he shoots the dude taking out the garbage. So that's like 3 bullets wasted right there. And then there's so he's just walking down the road, laughing with the gun in his hand. And then there's like a car that's just zooming down the road, and then he just basically shoots at it 3 times. And the car basically, does some, shit right there where it flips over, and then all of a sudden blows up out of no goddamn world, because that's just how they goddamn goes, movie. So he's still walking around with the gun. Until basically he's confronted by the police that basically tell him to put it down. So he basically laughs. Then he turns the gun on him, because he's about to take himself out. But what he failed to realize that, he didn't already used up all the bullets, So by the time he pulled the trigger, the whole entire thing's empty. So that's how they basically ended up, capturing him. And that's how he ended up basically in the insane asylum. So by that time, he had basically got through with the story. And, and while he was telling the story right there, somehow doing that whole entire thing, he ends up killing the doctor that was basically talking to him all the time. So he ends up killing the doctor, kills his way out of the mental institution that he was basically staying in. And it switches off to basically, police, like wondering what's going on. And you got this one nun, because they already know like what he's doing, he's basically trying to finish the job that Billy basically started. He wants to kill Mother Superior. But the woman's talking about, the orphanage is closed, and Mother Superior, she had a stroke and she's living somewhere else. And that's when they realized, like, oh shit, he may know where she lives. So now they're trying to get to where Mother Superior lives before Ricky does. So Ricky, basically like that, kills some guy in the Santa suit right there. So that's where the whole Santa Claus theme basically comes in right here, and the whole Silent Night, Deadly Night thing right there after all this basically went down. So he ends up calling Mother Superior. Now, how he got a hold of her information and where she lived at, I can only guess, because they never explained that goddamn part. Now, meanwhile, Mother Superior, she's this old motherfucking thing like that, supposed to be stroking. Now, why they gave her this appearance, like, I really don't know. She's supposed to be some like a former. She's supposed to be like somebody who had a stroke and all this stuff right there. When you look at her face, man, she looks like the victim of a motherfucking acid attack. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody did that wild stuff to her, as evil as she was in that very first movie. So they give her this, they give her this jacked up, grotesque appearance right there, and Ricky basically ends up, finding where she is, busting his way through the house, and this is another trip I part out that I've seen about this whole entire franchise, of how Mother Superior is supposed to be like this holy, this holy person right here and things like that, but they got her in an apartment. And as you see right here, man, it's apartment number 666. Now, why would you put a nun? Why would you put a sister of the faith in a goddamn room where I'm saying of a number that's basically associated with the devil? It's like that was some wild, ironic shit right there myself. I basically saw, like, why the hell would they put her in a afterward, she should have been about the excuse me. All right, so Ricky basically, makes it to that part right there, and he's chasing it. He's chasing after her. Up to the point where they basically confront each other. So by the time the police make it there, they're basically showing Mother Superior basically, like like right no still. So the sister basically touch her head, basically falls off. So like the basically saw this goes out, and Rick just behind him. He just holds up the knife or something, holds up the axe for some reason. It just goes boo. And so they basically end up shooting him 3 times. So he basically, he shot through the window, and he's laying there and they thinking everything he's dead. So they wake up the sister. She basically, looks over there, sees Mother Superior head, laying right there and things like that. She starts screaming again, and the wild part is Ricky opens up his eyes and he smiles, and that's how the movie ends. Now, so that was like the first. That was like the first 2 Silent Nights. Now, this is where. Oh crap! Now this is where stuff just starts getting real cheesy right here, because the next 3 is like I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell they were basically trying to do. But the next 3, I'm saying the next 3 Silent Night, Dead Night, they were just weird, and I mean just downright just weird. Like Silent Hill 3 was basically I'm saying now. I think it's still attached to like the first 2, because now it's like Ricky's like in a coma. He's like played by this dude somewhere. He's got like this he's got like this metal plastic dome wrapped around his head for some reason. Hell shit, they done cut his goddamn skull. They done put a motherfucking dome on his head and things like that, And he's in a coma, and for some reason, they got this one guy right here who's basically, he's got this deaf girl. I'm not this deaf girl, but this blind girl who's somehow psychic, basically tapping into his mind, not for whatever reason. Oh my God! It is just one of the silliest things that you ever basically seen. Also, okay, how can I explain this goddamn move right here? Basically, you got this. I'm saying you got this blind girl with psychic powers, basically trying to tap into like Ricky's mindset. For this doctor right here for whatever reason. So this is basically around Christmas time. So her and her brother were going to go visit their grandma for like Christmas and all that right there. Now, for some reason, the brother decided to bring his girlfriend along, and she didn't like that right there. Excuse me. And she didn't like like the blind girl. Didn't basically like that whole entire thing for the reason. So as they're basically like going to see their grandma thing, it's I'm not Rick gets out of his coma, and they're like telepathically synced or whatever. So whatever she's thinking, whatever she's saying and things like that, Billy, I'm saying, is telepathically doing doing the whole entire thing. So that's where he's basically chasing her down like it was just some of the most cheesiest shit in the goddamn world, man. Like the third movie was horrible. The 4th movie, I don't even know what the fuck that was. It was like the 4th movie just had like this one. I'm saying it didn't have nothing to do with like the other movies whatsoever. It was like this one female journalist, and she's basically this one female journalist, and she's basically I gotta put this. She's trying to investigate like this recent thing that basically went down there where this one female, she jumped off a building and she was on fire, and they don't know if it's murder or spontaneous combustion or whatever, but it's like she's trying to find out what the whole entire story was about, and she ends up getting involved with this this female coven and things like this. I don't know. It's some kind of motherfucking female anti-man group and hate group and shit like that. And it's like a whole lot of weird shit goes on, which involves a whole lot of bugs. It just got the whole entire thing. That's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to like Silent Hill, Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, and 5. I don't know what the hell were basically doing right there. It's like they created other movies, but they basically just put like the Silent Night, Deadly Night title on it right there, just in hopes of getting the whole entire thing. But to me, it's like the Silent Night, Deadly Night, the Silent Night, Deadly Night on 1 and 2, they would have basically the points of the whole entire thing. Like, God damn it, get these things and put the hell up out of here. Goddamn bots. They worrisome. Okay, there they go. But Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2 like that, they were just basically real good. 3, I don't know what they were going for right there. 4, it was just that was just like another movie that was something else. But they basically just put Silent Night, Deadly Night on it just I don't know for the nostalgic or whatever, and it's like it was just some really really jacked up part right there. But I watched those like last couple of weeks. This is around the Christmas season. I just basically saw like the whole entire thing, and I'm like, man, I haven't seen Silent Night, Deadly Night in a long time. Man, I'm gonna watch this right here, and it was just wild, like how I used to be so afraid of movie back in the day when I was a kid, but now I'm just looking at it and I'm just thinking like, man, this shit was cheesy as fuck. Like, it was. You look at it now, and I'm saying, you're just thinking like, damn, man, this movie is so cheesy. But back in the day, man, that was just during the time, man. Well, movies like that were, what the most scary thing that you ever seen. But shoot, I had fun with that whole entire thing, man. But it's like, so I want to get old. I want to basically, talk about the whole entire thing right there. I mainly want to talk about 1 and 2 because 3, 4, and 5 are some of the most horrible things out there. That Jesus Christ, man, I don't even know why they freaking make them. But anyway, like I said, this gonna be a small stream right here. I just basically want to come do like this little review right here since I didn't have enough time to like make a video. But I plan on coming on, like what's coming on, like up on this channel right here. It's like I am going to be starting like a whole lot of videos, as well as like some other videos on my other channels right there. If you ever get to check it out. But anyway, like I said, like I am Patrick. I've said you can check me out like down the links below. Like I'm on Twitter at IPPatrick 24/7, as well as like I say you'll find like my Discord and my TikTok right there. Like which basically like a lot of my videos that I'm going to be having on here, doing a lot of fun videos right there in the future. So be looking for those whole entire thing. But until then, like I'm just going to cut this short right here. I hope if you ever can check out that Silent Hill franchise, not Silent Hill. Damn, I don't know why Silent Hill is on my mind. Check out the Silent Night, Deadly Night, franchise for yourself and see how y'all like it. But until then, I just want to sit up there and wish everybody, like I says right here, a very wonderful Merry Christmas. All right. This is me once again saying until we see y'all again, the credits are rolling and the movie is over. It is officially the end. I'll see you next time.